Feature Friday.
The freshest.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello.
It's one of the most interesting videos we're probably ever going to check out because
Yes.
this is Kaushiki. We checked her out. You know, this is traditional classical music, and it was one of the most mind-blowing performances we've ever seen in our lives. And this is her and her father, and her father's teaching her when she was very young. Now, of course, one of the things that ballet wants to do, and I want to understand better, is obviously understand how to learn this, and maybe what are some of the exercises that they may do, and some of the mindsets and approaches. We did have a look at that kind of like guide to rag, and we, you know, off camera we like to do our own research. But we thought we'd share this, given the fact that also is Kaushiki, such a legendary
figure in the Indian
classical music.
Yeah.
And let's give it a watch. We know what to expect, but it got very requested.
Yes.
And instead of watching it in our own time, we thought we'd check it out on the channel, as it's not too long.
The comment said this is how she was formed. Basically, the singing process was all taught by her father.
Fuck, you know.
So he created a legend.
What a boss.
Okay.
She's fairly young as well at the moment. What are they playing?
I think they're playing a harmonium.
Is that a harmonium?
I think so.
What is the name of that? What could I never remember it?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Different rags, right? That's a harmonium.
Oh, she's playing it.
Of course. Okay, hold on a second. 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. 1 second. So let me put Indian classical instruments. That is I think that might be a sitar. I'm not too sure. It doesn't look like one in my eyes. Sarangi. Does it look like a sarangi or sarangi? Put it up.
I can't see it.
Baby Kaushiki.
Okay.
Let me see. Tambura? No. Probably is a tambura, actually. Someone in the comments can be like, no, it isn't, you dummy.
Actually, no. It could be.
Could be, right? Look.
Could be.
Press play.
Looks
Put
similar.
the thing.
Okay.
Interesting how in Western singing you would be doing this with a piano.
Yes, indeed.
Right?
Yeah, that's exactly how it... Okay, there's a few things that obviously I want to highlight. When it comes to melody created, they're very soft palate lifted. Right from the beginning, you see the dad creating the sound, and it's a really rounded... But it's a really rounded So it's not in Spanish, the it's actually quite... It lifts up on the corner of the mouth. It's actually quite smiley. It's a very smiley sound. Actually, you could bring the twang from up here and create that lifted sound. In his demonstration right off the bat, it was actually a really nicely soft
Even the way she's doing it.
Yeah, but you can see it right here from the dad when he opens his mouth. Wait. So it's a very rounded sound. So it's really rounded and it's really high cheeks up here. So it's really lifted in the soft palate. And it's a really I can't really see much of the tongue, but I would presume that it's a tip of the tongue's slide position. So you have a really nicely Just relax the middle of the tongue. And then around, or yeah, but that to me explains a lot of where the sound actually resonates. So it's actually quite what people would refer that to a head voice ish.
That's what they are. Ballet's not a big fan of that word.
Because it doesn't really
because your voice doesn't come from your head.
Exactly. Thank you. It just doesn't apply. Yeah. But then I would love to see what she does. And you see how the larynx didn't actually shift in every single movement?
For people like me who don't know what the fuck a larynx is, basically your throat, this didn't move, yeah? That's basically what ballet's saying.
Or there's very minimal movement. In Western singing technique, this
should put an example of maybe Western singing.
Okay.
Try and find an example.
Try to find something.
Because what ballet's trying to exemplify here is that what really occurs, in case you're new to the channel, if you're not new to the channel, we've discussed this quite a few times. If you're new to the channel, hello, welcome, nice to meet you, mate. But what she is trying to make a point in, when I speak, this changes, so this shifts up and down, right? And that's essentially what generates the fluctuation in sound. But in Indian classical singing, what occurs, and this happens if you have a look at things like Coke Studio India, where they really focus in
So let me see if I can see her larynx moving up. I would love to see a side.
It's like you're singing.
No, could you change?
She doesn't do a side.
Oh.
Hey, I think she's gonna.
Like so.
But you can still see a lot of movement happening in this area. So even if you're not, obviously it would be more prominent in a man. You would see it coming up and down. But even in her positioning here, if you have a look at this area, it's actually, she's quite lifted.
Naturally.
But you see the neck muscles, how active they are, all in this area. They move, they shift, they change, they actually grow in width. But in her case, in this particular Kaushiki's case, you can actually see very little bubbling up on the front of the larynx. Obviously, the angle of the camera really helps to see the precise movement. But it's very minimal. It's very, very minimal. It's tiny.
Did you see it move when she swallowed? That's
right.
What it would look like. That's what it should. Well, in the Western sense, that's how when people sing, that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
But in India, it doesn't, and this is mind-boggling.
This is awesome.
That she's gonna swallow.
And that's amazing. Wow!
It is the instrument I showcase, and I just forgot the name already.
I just love how intricate the actual singing phrase is, and how accustomed she is to the intricacy. So just have a look. And see, even when she's in the lower range.
She's a banjira. A banjira. I think that one's probably as well, like 52 inches. 4 strings. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tampura female decorated. Plus a gig bag.
Oh,
plus. You take it to the gig.
Plus gig bag. It's important.
Fuck, $860.
Oh, they are expensive.
Holy shit.
Oh,
yeah,
why are they so expensive?
A banjira, but there's also some called tampura.
Oh, maybe there's like a female or a male version. You know how like there's certain instruments, like the
so tampura might be the male version, and the banjira is the female. Let us know. Again, learning as we go.
It's really cool because even when she's doing the lower resonant stuff, like things that in the Western singing technique that will tell you to connect to your chest, try to find the vibration down in your chest, which actually forces you to separate a section of your larynx and reach down towards your chest to find that girth, that sound, that width, fatness in the
thickness.
Yes, but in her case, when she's doing the lower range stuff, the larynx actually maintain lifted, and there is no need to find connection to the chest to find resonance.
Interesting, right?
How? That's an enigma to me. That really doesn't explain anything.
In that video where we were talking about this specific coach that was talking about like that there's wrongs and right ways of singing. This is why I guess that hypothesis that she had, they're completely wrong. You know?
Yes.
This is why, well, at least in my eyes, that's why this becomes derailed, because you can't utilize the same criteria of judgment for different types
Cultural
of singing.
Sounds,
yeah, you can't do that. Like, that's crazy.
Absolutely. But
anyway.
yeah, just pay attention to her.
And I won't say the name. Everyone's like, I wonder who it is.
Super lifted, you see, and she still,
maintains it.
yeah, she still managed to hit the register. Come on, yes.
It's like a scale, kind of.
Nice. Oh, bless her! I can feel the stress. He is insane.
I can't wait to.
The melody, the resonance kept captured throughout the whole of that singing phrase. And it's crazy because there is a bass note, right? So that first note in which they start, it's literally going to depict where the rest of the scale is going to flourish from, blossom, right? But they always, but they always go back to that bass sound, even halfway through the movement of the singing phrase, which is so fast and so dynamic.
I can't wait to again to keep expanding our wisdom and knowledge, so that then we can understand even more. Like, for example, which chords she's playing, and what they represent, their connection, and historically what this represents, and why this came to be the way it is.
Yes.
As I always say, if you're perhaps looking for a classical Indian explanation towards this is definitely the wrong place. I guess what you're experiencing is musicians from other part of the world understanding and widening their horizons slowly, bit by bit, learning of different cultures and different sounds. I mean, this is what the channel is about. And then putting it into perspective on what I guess our little knowledge of music would be, and then trying to interpret.
And to what we have been exposed to up to now. Like,
so we're gonna make mistakes. I'd love to apologize in advance, because I can't wait for the moment where, I don't even know if we'll ever get to that level, but where I'll be able to understand everything that's going on. And I'll even be able to understand it so well that I'll be confident enough into making a video that then other people can come to it as a baseline guide of understanding classical Indian music. I mean, mental. That's like me saying I wish to understand opera to a level where I could then make an instructional video. It's like,
how to opera.
I'll see you in 50 years.
Basically.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
But it seems enjoyable for you guys. It's definitely enjoyable to me. And
100% to me too. This is,
because it's brand new territory, and I never thought it's actually quite emotional. Like, it's so emotionally packed, because I never thought we'll be able to experience brand new concepts of music. From a completely different side of the fucking world. Yeah.
It's actually
another planet. It's unbelievable.
And you know what's crazy, Efra? I see her learning as a child, and I am then teletransported to when I was a child and I was learning to sing, and all of this frustration and all this and it's crazy because I've never even had to go
so
through.
you might give her a hug, don't you?
Yes, because you understand the exertion of energy. And
I don't remember learning vocal shit like that because I never did. But I remember, like learning paradiddles or percussion and rhythms and rudiments. And oh my god, why can't I get that right? Why doesn't my brain understand?
And why can I not do it fast enough? They're asking speed. I can't give you speed. I don't understand. And how to maintain the melody as you're doing it in a speedy way. This is incredible. And it's crazy because this is a completely different part of the world, a completely different culture, a completely new technique of singing to me.
Yeah.
And somehow I'm also relating to the whole experience. This is a beautiful video.
This question is this common for kids in India? Are you encouraged to learn this from an early age?
Sadiga sama ga de zapa sadiga ma pa de ga ma de pa ma ga de da de ga ma pa ga ma pa ga da pa ma ga.
Again.
Sadiga sama ga de zapa sadiga ma pa de ga ma de pa ma ga de da.
Sadiga sama ga de zapa sadiga ma pa tambo se baya.
Sadiga sama ga de zapa sadiga ma pa de ga ma de pa ma ga de da de ga ma pa da ga ma pa ga da pa ma ga ni ga ma pa da ni. Sadiga sama ga
de zapa.
Speed.
Sadiga sama ga de zapa sadiga ma pa. Sadiga sama ga de zapa sadiga ma pa de ga ma pa.
Josh.
Sadiga sama ga de zapa sadiga ma pa de ga ma pa.
It reminds me of
Sadiga
our
sama ga
father.
de zapa sadiga ma pa. De ga ma de pa ma ga de da de ga ma pa da.
No.
Sadiga sama ga de zapa sadiga ma pa de ga ma de. Sadiga sama ga de zapa sadiga ma pa de ga ma de pa ma ga de da de ga ma pa da ga ma pa ga da pa ma ga ni ga ma pa da ni.
Yes, but she doesn't break under pressure. That's insane. He knew what he had there. He knew what type of legend he was about to build. Like, I'm not even
how old is she now? Do you
joking.
mind searching that? At the end of the video.
Sure, there is just no doubt in his mind and in the way of teaching, because obviously when you're teaching children, there's also this whole approach. It's a completely different approach to how you teach an adult.
Depends who you have.
Exactly, but the fact that sometimes you might have really talented kids, they just break under pressure. They don't know how to handle this type of pressure. More, do it again, try it again. And some kids just don't understand how to deal with this type of environmental pressure.
You can teach them really easy though. You can teach them easily how to handle pressure. I think so.
I think it takes a special type of children.
Yeah.
I think it takes this type of breed to really grow under pressure and not give in. Because there's a lot of environmental things that are happening here. She's not just sitting there and singing. She's also playing an instrument, taking directions and trying to get the exercise right. There is a lot happening here.
Yeah, I think you can teach a kid how to handle pressure easier than you can teach a kid a skill.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Because when you're teaching a kid a skill, you're fighting against their innate predisposition towards the skill.
True.
So she might have been innately predispositioned to music. I mean, most fucking
Obviously,
definitely.
yeah.
But no one's naturally predispositioned to handle pressure.
Absolutely correct.
Everyone's made to sort of... I guess you do have I guess you do have sometimes what would you call it, an innate response to pressure that other kids don't. You can realize this. You never teach a kid how to do something. You get kids that are more introverted, more extroverted than others. You get kids that like being in a spotlight. You get kids that don't, right? But I think you can teach them both the same thing with more ease because they'll be able to... It's a much more applicable skill throughout the whole day.
Right.
Rather than, a couple of hours of learning a forehand.
Fair enough.
In tennis, or a couple of hours of learning musical theory. But you can teach them how to handle pressure. You teach them how to stand up for themselves. You can teach them how to speak to the girl they like. You can teach them how to be the first kid to handle their homework.
That's right.
You can teach them how to not give up when they lose a game. You know what I mean? That's it. Yeah, probably. Again, I don't know. I'm not a teacher. I'm just presuming.
Again, let us know what you think about that. But that definitely it shows a different type of natural obviously this is not new, that she's obviously in this particular case she does this
she's like
often
9 here,
yeah, so
8,
she's
9.
been doing this for a really long time, so she understands what is demanded from her.
Plus it's daddy.
Yeah, but don't be fooled by that though. I think sometimes when you're learning with a parent, it's actually more extraneous than it is that if you hired somebody to teach you.
Sure.
I think there's a lot more moral responsibility that comes from that.
Not a bad
Sa
observation.
re ga ma pa da ga ma pa ga da pa ma ga ni ga ma pa da ni.
Which is
Sa re ga
adorable.
sa ma ga re sa pa sa re ga ma pa re pa ma ga re ga ma pa da ga ma pa ga da pa ma ga ni ga ma pa da ni.
Very good.
Sa re ga sa ma ga re sa pa sa re ga ma pa ma ga re ga ma pa da.
Sa re ga ma ga re sa pa sa re ga ma pa ma ga re ga ma pa da ga ma pa ga da pa ma ga ni ga ma pa da ni.
Sa re ga sa ma ga re sa pa sa re ga ma pa sa re ga sa ma ga re sa pa sa re ga ma pa ma ga re
Good camera as well.
ga ma pa ga da pa ma ga ni ga ma pa da ni. Sa re ga sa ma ga re sa pa sa re ga ma pa sa re ga sa ma ga re sa pa sa re ga ma pa ma ga re ga ma pa da ga ma pa ga da pa ma ga ni ga ma pa da ni.
फिर से बोलो सा रे गा मा गा रे सा पा सा रे गा मा पा नो सा रे गा मा गा रे सुनो पहले सा रे गा मा गा रे सा पा सा रे पा मा गा रे सा
Sa re ga ma pa
सा रे गा मा गा रे सा पा
sa re ga sa ma ga re sa pa
सा रे गा मा पा मा गा रे सा
sa re ga ma pa ma ga re sa.
बोलो
Sa re ga sa re ma sa re ga sa re ma ga sa re ga sa re pa ma ga re sa re pa.
सा रे गा मा गा रे सा पा
Sa re ga sa ma ga re sa pa sa re pa ma ga re sa.
हाँ बोलो जो
Sa re ga sa ma ga re sa pa sa re pa ma ga re sa. Re ga ma ga re ga sa pa ma ga re ga ma pa ga ma da ga ma.
It is
It's intense
hard.
too.
That's intense.
How old is she right now?
Oh,
And by the
that
way,
is-
because this is like documentary footage, it feels like.
yes,
So he must have known he had a
something special. I'm
yeah
telling you.
from the I mean definitely. So
I'm telling you,
can anyone put this into context? Why was this being recorded in that sense of like maybe what had she achieved at that stage? Because she and I know she's not old. Yeah, she's like 41. She was born in Kolkata, in India. And her father is Ajoy.
Yes.
Or I mean, I don't know which one's the mother and father. Chandana.
No,
To me.
I think Ajoy
Cricket,
is
the father.
Pandit.
Yeah, it is,
Ajoy
it is, Pandit Ajoy.
is the dad.
Because Chandana sounds like a dope ass name, and I would name my son that as well. Chandana, but that's the mother. Did the mother
yeah.
sing perhaps?
I don't know. Let's click
What is
on
their
the dad
story?
though. Yeah, well, he
He's
is
an Indian
vocalist.
Hindustani classical vocalist. Oh, it'd be cool to check him out, and composer.
Oh, good. Well, there's definitely a lot of
still
wisdom
active
that
now.
came. Wow, amazing! A lot of wisdom that came from
He's
the
72.
type of
74.
technical advice that he was giving her. So it came from not only understanding the genre of music, but also years of singing it himself.
Experience,
Yeah.
Wisdom and experience. Coach plays. This coach plays, eh?
Yeah.
Well, let us know what you guys thought about it. I do hope this is enjoyable. Again, this is kind of like we're learning
Brand new experience.
and brand new experience. So do let us know if you like this type of content, and we'll attempt to do this again. Let us know what you thought about it, guys, and goodbye. Thanks for all the support.